welcome Ken Gordon and Samantha Mudd from Bluespace Interiors, who have been excellent partners for us, working with UCI for many years now, providing excellent customer service and products in the realm of furniture. And so, with that, I would hand it over to Samantha and Ken.
All right. Thank you, Snehal, for the introduction, and thank you everyone for your time and for your support over the years. Helen, you can go to the next slide. Great. Let's just our starting slide. Let's jump to the next one. Thank you, Helen. Okay, so today, let's try and get you out of here by 3 o'clock, and we will move through this. Just an outline of what our goals are for today, talk about our partnership. For those of you who may not be familiar with us, let you know who we are, what our relationship is, a little bit about our team that serves the campus community at UCI. We're in budget times that are difficult, not so much at Bluespace, but at UCI, and we have some solutions for that and some advantages. We want to talk a little bit about sustainability and our commitment to UCI for that, and then how offices are changing. And then some of the things that you don't think of us for, but maybe you should, and we'll call that obscura. And then the last thing will be a quiz question, some bit of information, some nugget that I share during the presentation or Samantha does will be on a quiz question. And whoever puts the quiz answer correctly in the chat once asked will win a $200 gift card. So pay attention, listen to the little details. All right, Helen, we can rock and roll to the next one. Okay, about our partnership. We have been a partnership probably longer than some of you on this meeting have been alive, 28 plus years. We are a contract furniture vendor. We've had over 12,000 transactions with UCI over those years, everything from a single chair to an entire complex of buildings. And we have a dedicated team that serves the UC campus community. The picture on this slide is of the brand new hospital that was built. 2 medical office buildings, a full hospital, Bluespace furnished the entire thing outside of the medical equipment. And so if you've got a project, whether it's a single chair or a complex of buildings, nothing is too small, nothing is too large. You can move on, Helen. All right, so this is the key members that deal with UCI on a daily basis of our team. I'm not going to introduce each one and take your time to do that, but as I was preparing today, I realized we left several folks off here. Our team is way deeper than what you see here, and all of these people deal with UCI, if not on a daily basis, at least a weekly basis. Our 2 of our drivers that are installers that are there at least once a week are not on this slide. Our accounting team is not on the slide. My bad for not including them, but our team of people here have, when we combined the number of years we've dealt with UCI and the people on our team and how long they've been here, we're over 200 years of combined UCI experience. And that was the quiz question last year, but it will not be this year, but still impactful number to know there's 200 years of experience behind you. You can advance, Helen. How does that 200 years of combined experience help? We know what's typical. We know what's acceptable. We know your campus. When you call us, we're not going to say, what's your street address? Because we know you don't have one. We know the guardrails. We know the codes. We know the goals overall for the university. Now, that's going to be different for each department. Social science is different than engineering. We know that, but we know the overarching goals and the guidelines for the university, and that makes each transaction, each interaction a little bit easier. We can advance, Helen. All right, moving on to budget advantages as we see them from Bluespace perspective when it comes to UCI. As I mentioned, these are not easy budget times for you, and we think we have solutions for that. First and foremost, our agreement is a little different than some of our competitors in that it is a direct agreement between Bluespace Interiors and the University of California. The difference being that it isn't with a particular manufacturer. So we don't have anybody telling us we're ABC manufacturer. We own the contract. You need to do 80% of your business with our products. We can help you out with whatever products meet your needs that are best. We have over 100 manufacturers that do that. Now, typically, we're using about 20 manufacturers on a regular basis, but when there's a unique need, we can reach out to other manufacturers, and we're not answering to anybody outside of UCI's policies and requirements for product in terms of what we provide you. Um, and then the last thing is what those two things do in terms of having a number of manufacturers we can reach to and not answering to anyone about what products we use. It gives us a broader spectrum to meet more budgets because, again, every department's different and every project within each department is different. And we can meet those budgets as long as we're staying within the quality and safety requirements that UCI has put forward. So, all right, Helen, you can advance. Another way that we help meet your budget is by using combinations of brands on a single project. Sometimes in a single office and sometimes on a single desk, there might be 3, 4 manufacturers involved to put that one desk together. Another one is mindful design. When we're looking at a project, our designers know approximately what your budget is, what's standard for the university. They're not over specifying and giving you things that are way out of your budget. And they're not specifying things that don't meet the quality and requirements of UCI. And the last one, and this is key, all the way through the design process, our team is looking to avoid costly installation situations. So if you tell us you want overhead storage, we're not just going to check that off and say inside to ourselves, great, the project just went up $1,000. No, we're going to counsel you and consult you about what the cost of that is, how you're really going to use it, and do you really need it? And that ends up with a lower budget at the end and you not buying things you don't traditionally need. All right, Helen. Big example of our cost savings is what we charge to deliver and install an assembled chair. It's $15 from Bluespace. And I just challenge any of the buyers on this call, take a look at a recent order, take a look at a current quote you have for a chair, and see what you're paying to have that chair delivered and installed. I can quite confidently assure you that if it's not with Bluespace, you're probably paying considerably more for each chair to get it there and get it in place. Next one. All right, these next two slides are just quick examples of budget setup offices. This one is called the Prerequisite. It's a great option for new faculty. Comes in under $3,800. Typically, your budget per new office for a faculty member is $5,000, depending on the school. But this comes in well under that. It gives that faculty member the choice to spend the rest of their budget on a microscope or books or whatever else they want, or more furniture, our preference. Next slide. Another great example of an office. This one was shown at your procurement event a few months ago, the vendors fair. This one we call the shapeshifter. This office can be laid out 6 different ways in a typical 10 by 12 office. And it's ambidextrous, meaning if the door is on the right or the left, or this gets moved from a door, as you see in these illustrations on the right, to an office where the door is on the left, doesn't impact anything. Nothing is handed, nothing is set in one particular direction. And this one comes in under 5,000 as well. Next one, Helen. All right, and then joining me is Samantha Mudd, our business development manager. Samantha's going to talk a little bit about sustainability, and I'll be back
Hey
with
guys,
you.
good afternoon. I'm super excited to continue to have conversations with you all about sustainability. We know how important it is to UCI and the UC system, but it's super important to us here at Bluespace. And we just wanted to highlight 3 ways that we really are able to incorporate that into your furniture needs. The first one is we work with manufacturers that are providing product. And so when we're specifying, we do this automatically for you. But if you have a special project and you're trying to achieve additional levels of certification, we can work with you on that as well, like we've worked with UCI Health, to make sure that we're getting you products that meet those certifications. And we help support the reporting back to the UC system. So sometimes it's with the renewable sources like the certified wood and actual products being delivered. On the next one, Helen, it's about the ability for high quality products that are going to stay out of the landfill. When we are providing you with products that are manufactured for education, for the commercial space, they meet a higher quality of standards than what you can buy commercially or direct as a consumer. And that really goes into how the product is made and cradle to grave of how that product finishes out when it is at end of life. Our ability to replace parts or reupholster or even fix a product on site for you guys really helps reduce our overall environmental footprint. And the other additional way we do that, Helen, on the next one is also about how we source product. So, whenever possible, we do still have some manufacturers here in Southern California that we do partner with to provide products that are all over your campus. But we are really working with manufacturers that are looking at their logistical footprint, how products are manufactured, packaged, and shipped across the US to us here in Southern California. All of that is taken into account, measured, and reportable to make sure we're not just lowering our environmental imprint here in Southern California, but across the country. So we're really excited that we can bring those sustainable initiatives to the UC campus as well. And on the next one, Ken's going to talk to you a little bit about some of the changes going on.
All right. Offices are changing at a hyper speed. What we're doing in each office, what you will be doing in each office, is changing. The two big catalysts that have happened recently were COVID, where people went and worked from home. But even more than that, technology. Technology is revolutionizing the way we use space. And you can go to the next slide for that. This is a typical executive office, and from before. You look at all that storage in there. At this point, I would say if a customer came to me and showed me this picture and said, we want something like this, I'd ask why. Why all the storage? There's drawers you can't see on the desk. There's all those drawers along the back, and nobody's really printing anymore to fill those drawers full of files. So you may need storage, but probably different than this. And I think the biggest tip that we can give to you to be consultative is, in any time you're doing a space with us or anyone, question everything as to what you did before 2020, the year, and what you're doing now, because you probably don't need as much furniture and can open up the space for other things besides just a lot of storage. And besides that, it goes back to the budget. Storage is the most expensive thing in an office. So question all storage when you're ordering furniture. Next one, Helen. Agility. It continues to be a real focus now in furniture. You want spaces to be able to move and change to what you want them to be at that particular time, whether that might be one thing this week and one thing the next, or one thing this hour and a next thing at 4 o'clock. So the more things you can put wheels on, the better. The more things that can be moved around easily, the better. And in this picture that we used, everything but the plants is on wheels and can be moved. And that leads to agility, flexibility, and everything else. And the other one, this is kind of a contemporary classroom. We don't all learn and work the same. We never have, but people are starting to realize it. So having some places where people can stand, some places where people can sit in a more lounge-like setting. Other people can't seem to concentrate unless they're at a traditional desk or table. Meet people where they do their best work and where they do their best learning. And we're here to help you do that. And it's not all the rows of everything being the same typically anymore. All right, Helen. The last thing, I am not going to sit here and pretend that artificial intelligence, or I can answer how that's going to impact, but I can tell you this. If you're buying furniture today for the next 15 years, know that artificial intelligence is going to probably require less furniture and spaces than there was before. And so be mindful of that as you plan spaces. We'll help you do that when you call to us on a project, but being consultative, if you're looking at an office that you did in 2005 and say, I want another office just like this, you really should be asking some questions about what do we actually do now in 2026 and what will we be doing in 2030? Because that furniture is still going to be here. But I think we'll be living in a different world. All right, Helen, you can rock and roll to the next one. All right, then Samantha's going to share with you about some things that we would like you to think of us for, and you may not think of us for if you're thinking about Bluespace just for chairs, desks, and files.
Yeah, absolutely. We have not put furniture on the bottom of the ocean yet, but here at Bluespace, we're always up for the challenge. And that's how I think of Obscura is you may have a challenge in front of you and come to the Bluespace team and see how we can help you solve it. On the next one, Helen, we want to show you guys how we're doing some of that today across community spaces. These can be res life housing structures. These can be libraries, discovery areas. Sometimes it's every nook and cranny in a building, right? Real estate is expensive here in Southern California. So how do we fill every area to make it the most productive space for student and faculty? So these community spaces have a lot of flexibility and a lot of options. Come talk with us and we'll brainstorm with you guys. On the next one, we are seeing a lot of conversation continue around the privacy pod. So to Ken's point, we work differently now. We want to be in open community spaces, but there are still some conversations that need a little bit more quiet, or you may want to step away and be able to just decompress. We do have privacy pods that meet autism certification as well. So really the ability to change lighting, change sound, change the experience for an individual user is really crucial. So what I will say is not all pods are created equal. Talk with Ken, talk with the Bluespace team so we can understand your needs and we can then position the right pod for your situation. The next one, it feels dark and moody, and it seems to be that way with esports. We are seeing an uptick in esports and these areas where students can game. We are seeing universities start to have their own leagues and competitions across the country. So this is definitely an area that we can help you create a combination of furniture combined with the technology that you're utilizing on campus to create really engaging spaces that allow for groups to gather and watch what's happening in live sessions and run tournaments, as well as learning how to code and create graphics and some of the AI stuff happening in the background. So a lot of really great options here we can assist you with. The next one, traditional housing doesn't go away, but Ken and I were talking. Another great thing to think about is all over campuses there are specific departments that sometimes need to be able to take a nap, right? Or they run 24/7. Think of our police department sometimes, or even over at the hospital. There are a lot of different areas. We have helped UCI with beds before in some of those unique spaces. So please think of us if there is somewhere where somebody needs to be able to sleep, maybe work and sleep, we can definitely help you with that. Catch a couple Z's. Getting outside, if you guys have not had a chance to look out the windows from the UCI main campus over to the hospital, I encourage you to do so. The wetlands are beautiful and creating spaces for you guys to be outdoors and create community and have a space to sit. These are products that we work with our everyday manufacturers as well as some custom solutions to create the exact solution needed for you. So being able to match the curvature of built-in concrete or mirror the way that the landscape is moving. These are all really fun things that we can work and create with you for your spaces. And we show a few other, more maybe traditional outdoor spaces here, right? A place to eat. We want to be outside. So eating is another example. There's, I think, one more outdoor example, Helen, of just maybe some lounge spaces. We are seeing an uptick of spaces right outside or right off of learning spaces that can feel like indoor-outdoor communities. So could I take a meeting out here? Could we walk outside and have a cup of coffee and have a conversation and then be right back into the academic space? So blending those spaces really nicely with different outdoor applications is something that we love to help you guys do. Next, this is one of my favorites because labs, they're furniture too. And I think you may not always be thinking of Bluespace for these solutions, but we understand and can help you through specific specifications to meet what you're doing in the lab space. So this is just one visual, but we have many different options and many different configurations to take you from pharmacy setups to classrooms to science to really anything that you guys are doing on campus and doing it with furniture instead of traditional casework to help amortize that product differently, but also the ability to relocate it much easier in the future. If this lab space needs to be something else, how do we then take that furniture and reconfigure it in another place on campus for you? The next one we touch on that I also love is a alternative to traditional case goods. It's your modular cabinetry. Everything from copy rooms that you see there on the bottom left to kitchens or eating areas, dining areas that can house 10 or 15 different microwaves. These are all solutions that we're helping build out in the education spaces today. And think about your space maybe differently. And that does include even those built-in or what looks like built-in islands in the front of those cabinets. So definitely some different ways and configurations that we can help you create a beautiful space, but allow for flexibility for future of the space as well. And I think we've just got a couple more. Stowing. Ken said it earlier. What are you storing? How do you need to store it? And how can you make that storage work for you? Talk with us from traditional lockers to unique storage applications across athletics, academics, and the classroom. We're really seeing a combination of using storage in a different way, even to create division, as you see here as well, throughout a space. So lots of great options for you. And maker spaces continue to be something that we can support for you guys. So butcher block tops or phenolinic tops, lots of different storage applications. This continues to be enhancing, and we would love for you guys to explore the different options, plus a ton of different colors and finishes to select from. Then we have Ellen, we've got active learning classrooms. Ken touched on it a little bit. These are spaces that can be very easily reconfigured. They can look like traditional classrooms, but they can also be used to open up and have community spaces, engage with the students differently. So no limit to what we can do for every day. You even see the modular TVs on the back wall. I know we've worked with you guys in some spaces to even bring those TVs onto casters, on battery packs and throughout the campus to really unhook you from any tethered down locations. And our last obscura space is auditorium, theater, and lecture hall. Traditionally, you think, how can I make these spaces work for us? We've done everything on campus from just helping you refurbish or upgrade furniture that is built in, that's been there for a very, very long time. As Ken shared, right? Maybe was installed before some people were alive on this call. We can bring it back to life if we know what's there and how we can help you. So when it comes to fixed seating, but also the ability to create a different learning environment. So these are things that can be attached to the ground. It doesn't have to be a chair attached. Sometimes it's a chair, sometimes it's the table. But again, working with you, you tell us what the problem is and what you're trying to solve for or what you're trying to achieve. And then we're going to back into that right solution in these spaces with you. And I think following that, Ken, might be a trivia question.
Yes, yes, it is. So the wheels are down. We're on approach to the end of this meeting. Last thing is this question from the presentation. And again, find your chat box, be ready to enter the answer. And the question is, what does Bluespace charge to install and deliver an assembled chair? You guys are fast. You're incredibly fast. So, I want to thank you for today. I want to thank you for your time, for your attention, and most of all for this partnership. And as we start 2026, what we're looking forward to in the future. You guys are fantastic. I consider you family, and looking forward to everything the future has for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken and Samantha. Certainly appreciate your partnership. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being a platinum sponsor for us. And I know you enjoy it, and we so do we. We look forward to continuing our partnership for years to come. That was pretty quick. I think we had like 15, 20 people enter the answers like within a few seconds, like within five
Yes.
seconds. And I guess Trisha had the fastest fingers.
Is that Trish
Um,
Fisher?
I presume so.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Excellent.
Good work, Trisha.
I'll be
All
in
right.
touch, Trish.
Thank
So with that,
you. Good
yes,
seeing
thank you
you.
very much. Appreciate it. Thank you,
Thank you,
Samantha. Thank you,
everyone.
Ken.
Thank you so much. Have a great time.
Thanks. Thank you. Yep. So that concludes our training session and the presentation for today. We appreciate you all participating and joining us, and hopefully you learned a few things both from the data security and privacy team and from Bluespace in today's presentations. If any questions, please get back to us. We absolutely would love to hear feedback from you. So if you can please help fill out the feedback forms, we definitely would, like that, and we'll respond to your suggestions and take those seriously. With that, again, thank you for staying over for 5 minutes. Have a wonderful rest of the day, rest of the week, rest of the year. And thank you for all your hard work and partnership. See you.
Thank you, everyone. And please reach out to Ken directly with any questions. And we will see you again soon.